Hello, my name is Jonas. This is the third part of the tutorial series for the feature Control Advisor that was introduced in Simca Online 13.3. The series consists of three parts: the definitions, how to create the forecast model in Simca, and how to configure and run the Control Advisor in Simca Online, which is this tutorial. First, I will describe how to upload and configure a project file from Simca in Simca Online. Then I will also show some typical plots and usage of the Control Advisor feature. This tutorial builds on one of the demo projects that is installed with the Simca Online server if the demo feature was selected. Open the project administration by clicking on File, Administration, Project Administration. Upload the Simca project file called controladvisor.usp that is located in the installation folder of the Simca Online server, typically this path. Automatically, when the project file has been uploaded, Simca Online adds a configuration to the project. In this tutorial, I will go through the whole configuration process, although it is possible to import a pre-made configuration file from the same directory where you found the USP file. Add a batch node by clicking on the three dots to the right. Select the Control Advisor batch node as batch node. On the batch evolution page, set the execution interval to 5 seconds, since the DBMaker database is generating new values every 5 seconds. On the unit group page, add an arbitrary unit group name, Control Advisor sample or something like that. Also, check the phase for Simca Online to run it. On the phase conditions page, set the batch identifier tag by clicking on the three dots, mark the process node, that's called Control Advisor, and select batch ID. Set phase conditions to true. Now we need to connect the variables in the model with the variables in the data source. Select the process node Control Advisor again and mark the tags we want to move. Copy the tags and paste them in the red field above. On the alarms page, add any alarms that you find relevant. I will go with the Demodex T2 range in the first score component. On the batch level page, set the PLS model as batch level model to monitor. We do not need to set the imputation model here, that is done in a later stage for the Control Advisor setup. So let's go to the Control Advisor page. Note that you need the operation to be on, and then you set the mode to advised future mode. Add the manipulated variables by clicking on the three dots and selecting which variables are the manipulated ones. It's the RSP and TempSP. Set the forecast model to one named M2 PLS imputation. The forecast Demodex and forecast T2 limits is the safety for the PLS forecast prediction. If the Demodex and or T-crit are outside any of these levels, there will be no forecast or advised future estimation. Set the control maturities to whenever any of the manipulated variables change in the recipe, or you want to control the process. Be aware, however, that you need to have variation, preferably design variation, to be able to get a better optimal value. Set the optimizer batch level model to the batch level PLS model in the project file. There are a lot of configurations that can be done for the optimizer. But the first thing that is important to do is to set the recipe and operating window for each manipulated variable at each control maturity point. The other settings are for the optimizer alone, and these also have default settings. The weight field can be used to turn each optimizer cost segment on or off. Set the value to 0 and it will not be used in the optimizer. Set the value to something higher and it will be included in the cost function. For a few of these settings, like Y and penalties for the manipulated variables, you can also have an objective, such as minimize, target or maximize. Click Next and finish the dialog. I will comment this new configuration entry with new advised future model or something similar. Click on the green play button to start the predictions and open the configuration. If you look at the score evolution plot, we can see that we now have a forecast and an advised future. We can also see the advised settings for each manipulated variable at all maturity values in the tooltip of the configuration dashboard. We can also plot the observed value compared to the set point in a dual variable plot. To do this, open a dual variable plot, change the values to plot temperature against the temperature set point. The limits in the plot is the operating window for the manipulated variable, as configured in the Control Advisor configuration. There are now 4 future values in this dual plot, 2 for each variable. For the manipulated variable, we have the settings as original in the recipe and advised new settings that the optimizer has found. For the dependent or measured variable, we have the forecast and the value that will probably be true if the manipulated variable advice is followed. On the batch level, both the forecast and advised future of the process are visible in all plots. For instance, here in the score scatter plot, or here in the predicted Y plot. This concludes the third and last part in the tutorial series for the Control Advisor. Thanks for listening.